I was just going to say we're going to start so that we can give Nancy and Ren, assuming Ren doesn't float away down.
Neil Lynch,
I'm here.
Nancy Wilson,
Here.
Ralph Bratton,
Here.
Kenzie Watts, Marcus Medina,
Here.
Ren Almitra,
Coming.
Here.
coming, so not here yet, we'll reach to the right. And Jason Wells,
He cannot make it.
But I think actually most of these storms have missed
Up there.
I hope so.
I think they hit Manitou this time.
Okay. All right, on to the agenda. You received it, such as it is. Thanks to Nancy for the help on it. And we, any problem with the agenda? If not,
I'd like to ask you put item 2 at the end. I'm only here about an hour, and I won't have anything to
item 2 at the,
review of powers and
under
duties.
motion to approve the agenda? A motion to approve, okay.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's 5. No. Minutes, you received the minutes, 7th meeting. Any corrections or additions? I have one correction. There's Kinsey, I'll beat Kinsey to it. That there's a reference to the company collar code, and it's capital C code, one word.
Good call. Good shot.
Made it. Are you wet? Other corrections or changes? Moved by Nancy, second. Second, Marcus. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Nobody's here to make public comments.
I have a public comment. What's the status of Eddie? Eli, sorry.
Eli, I'm the culprit because I wanted to come back and go to the council meeting, and so I came back and now we'll get it taken care of.
Okay. So he should be at the June meeting?
Yeah, I was kind of, that's okay. I mean, that's all like. Yeah, well, yes, I did say that. It's funny, you say the MAC, and now it's the library to the outside world.
That's why at the top I distinctly said 5-15 minutes to add.
Going to City Hall.
Okay, reports, Michelle, you.
Eli's a potential new member.
Oh. ELA, probably mentioned in the last months.
Okay.
How do you spell his last name? I'm sorry.
BHEAR. Okay, one report is that of the only 2 grants have not yet been paid out, and that's because and one of them is for the tool library for 500, and the other was for the Emma Crawford Memorial Plaque for a million, excuse me.
Big numbers you're using.
1,400, and Emily emailed them yesterday requesting the W-9 and award letter. I think we had.
Black is up.
Well, she then probably just needs to be reimbursed.
Right.
Yeah.
So we, good job on getting these grants checks out there. That's it.
And I might add, I think there's an opportunity for us to improve in that communication next year. So it needs a bit more reflecting. I'm not sure what it is, but it's an opportunity.
Yeah. All right, well, Nancy Wilson, were 2 of the people who were in the room when for what became the creators. She was the facilitator for that. So I got my positive opinion about her abilities to time ago. No, seriously. Got a nice structure out of that endures now. It's called the Creative Alliance now, but it's still the certified creative district for Manitou Springs. A lot of it is still intact from those first meetings like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I felt like I wanted to say something along those lines because I think it's great that you're doing this
Well,
now, and I think it's.
well, here comes,
Go for it.
I'll bet this is Eli.
Oh.
For that kind of introduction. We're getting a little late. I because Ralph was out of town and you were out of town anyway, I just. Hi,
A wet Eli.
yeah, have a seat. Sit up here at the table, sit back there, right on. So, just real quickly, agenda review, you guys are obviously, gonna blow this out of the water, you already have.
I think we should just introduce it.
Okay, let's do introductions, and we'll keep it brief, but, just your name, well, let's not keep it too brief. Your name, why you decided to join MACH, and when you walked into here tonight, what was kind of top of mind? It doesn't necessarily have to be anything to do with MACH, but what did you arrive here thinking about? Ralph, we'll just go around.
Okay, I'm Ralph Troughton, sheriff now. To follow in Neil's footsteps, but I'm retired as former journalist around town in various capacities. Most recently with the rebirth of the Independent coming out of 6035, which has been a crazy first 5 months of this year. And I've been going through a little bit of a personal crisis here, and I'm really sorry that for the distance and not being around and being able to be more involved here lately, but my wife was in the hospital for more what was I thinking of when I came here tonight? Thinking, you know, we've done so much in the last 2 years since I came on this board. And it's amazing what we've done by being remote. And I have seen, and just like we probably all have, how getting a group of people together for a purpose like this, it's a lot better than Zoom. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with it.
Marcus?
I'm Marcus, I think, Neil was the one that, came up to me and asked if I wanted to join at the Heritage Center in the upstairs. I like art in a lot of different forms. Or you're so still, I feel like learn.
Eli.
Eli, welcome.
So I'm Eli.
And you don't have to, you can just say you're considering being on the board.
I'm a Manitou local, born and raised. Lot in town, working on a lot of projects with different folks in town. I play for the Grateful Family Caravan, which is a local band from around here. I wanted to get involved with MACH because I love our community a whole lot, and I think both my parents are artists, and so they raised me to have a very open mind to that kind of stuff, and I just think that we do really incredible things here. And I've seen what you guys have been doing over the past couple of years, and I think I really want to be a part of it. So when I was on my way here, I was thinking about staying dry, and just excited to see the process today.
I joined for several reasons, not in any particular order, was really eager to get to know Manitou. I've written a lot of grants, I've been on the nonprofit side of trying to get funding, so I was really curious about this side of it, and so, yeah.
I'm Emily Watson, and I'm the accountant for the city of Manitou, and I was a finance tech, but now I'm doing payroll, and so Joyce Jones trained me, so I'm Joyce's replacement, and I am here for replacement to take the minutes.
Not necessarily for anything. just-
Substitute.
Just today.
Great to have us.
Thanks. So
And what were you thinking of?
I was protecting Becca, because we were not allowed to use the sidewalk, so she was behind me and I had my arm up, and I said, don't hiss. We were on.
I'm Kinsey,
I joined the match board kind of because Sarah, who's a previous member, posted something about joining, and at the time, I was mistakenly thinking that if I join this board, I can help pick what public art is on the street. Like I really wanted to have an opinion on that, which I think I joined the
Wrong
wrong
ball,
board.
wrong ball.
And on my way here, I actually stopped in. I have a studio space here at the center, and I got to meet my studio mate for the first time. We'd only ever talked online, and we were talking about starting wanting to do and haven't done, but we'll see.
I am Neil. Something which says a lot about where I come from. For 20 years, I worked for Compaq and HP. Various business and supply chain your roles. I've seen that's my style. So when I joined MACH, there were two objectives. One was to make it happen. Second was whenever we go for votes or whatever it was, I set a goal of 2/3. Coming in here tonight, January, which is when we have to be.
I'm Becca Davis, the finance director for the city of Manitou Springs and staff liaison. Why is the finance director the staff liaison for the match? Simple. It's because it's all about the money. So because of that, I was made staff liaison. And I do want to say though that my mother was an artist and my little sister was an artist. So I have been exposed to the artistic type environment for a lot of my life, probably more so than most governmental accountants. Always be prepared, bring your umbrella when you think it might rain. So, yes,
All right.
that is my motto. It's gonna be on my
Be prepared.
gravestone.
Are you a Girl Scout?
No,
No.
but
A Boy Scout? No.
frequently follow their type of agendas. I used to carry a compass.
Okay,
6:19, so you're,
I'm already, are you gonna be my timekeeper? That'd be great, okay.
You
So,
need to introduce yourself.
Nancy, Ralph introduced me.
I was going to.
I decided to join the match board because number one, I was retired and I had enough time to do it. Number two, I always read the stuff most of the stuff that the city puts out, and they put out the job description for match board members. And I was just astounded. Like, it's me, it was written for me. That's my experiences. 30 years in nonprofits, grant writing, working with foundations. So, agenda review. We've done this. Ralph's gonna be my timekeeper, try to keep us on score. The first thing we're gonna do is look at Plan Manitou. And you're gonna, why are we gonna looking at Plan? We had the thing up here that talked about how we're responsible giving away money based on community values as defined in Plan. And how often have we really had that discussion? And how do we know that the values of the city of our community, and have we really linked those? The other reason it's important is it's in our rubric. It's how we evaluate all our grants, is according to basically those things in Plan Manitou, arts and culture, heritage, all those things, and how they fit into Plan Manitou. And finally, it's just, it will give us background in if we have to defend decisions, if we're trying to decide how are we meeting the goals of Plan Manitou? Do we play that role in the community? Can we say to somebody on city council, these were the goals that you approved of in Plan Manitou, and this is how we're meeting them also. So some things like that. So we're just gonna kind of review that quickly, and that was part of your homework, right? Everybody did? Okay, we're gonna look at powers and duties, because we actually have a list of powers and duties, and that's the other thing I asked you to do, is kind of look at that list. There were several on there where I thought, we're doing that. But there are other few things on that list that we've actually never really talked about really seriously in this group. Do we need to cross them off? Should they not be part of our powers and duties? Or is it something that we need to set as a... So, and then finally, and this is what Ren and I talked about, we've met a couple times over these meetings, but we all had a lot of big questions and examples of things like, what should our grant range be, or should we have one, or should we be able to fund bigger projects, or you guys probably all have things in your head that you're either concerned about, confused about, want clarification on, or just want some discussion about before you review another 65 grants, right? So we're gonna do that, and hopefully that brainstorming session will lead us into what we want to do in this next meeting. And also cut me off, Ren will cut me off if I talk too much. So kind of our desired outcomes for today is just that. Gain a clear understanding of how MACH reflects our community values that are in the plan, determine how well the board is currently fulfilling our duties as described in the powers and duties, develop a list of priorities to be addressed in the next meeting and the next year, or in November and January. Is everyone good with that? If we accomplish these things, do we feel good about the numbers? Okay. So, let's start talking. So, I don't know why this. So this is directly from the ordinance. It also is our first things in our powers and duties. Oh, looks like I'm. But the two things that stood out to me in this is fairly distributed, and we had some questions, and we have questions about that periodically, at least I do, and according to community values. So that kind of is driving what we're doing tonight. So, you were asked to take a look at Plan Manitou. We all took a look at that. One of the things I asked you to think about is what surprised you as you looked at Plan Manitou relative to culture and heritage. Here it is. Yeah. That we are meeting a lot of the goals in the plan, or it doesn't relate much to what we're doing, or any of those things. So this is the vision for arts and culture. And some people would say, really this is where these are the actual goals of the plan. And just for the heck of it, I'll start out. As I started reading through these, I was like, wow. Others.
We're not doing.
I was just about to say, I was sitting under arts and culture.
There is a board for.
Right, oh yeah, I know, but it's such a huge it's not a matter of procrastination, it's just what's possible and what's not.
For example, the Urban Renewal Authority mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
To the
Love
lobby.
Oh, yeah, the whole little.
Right
Right, yep, okay,
in
so
front of Lulu's, there's a statue.
that's the eagle, right?
And
Oh,
there's
so
an
the
arch,
Eagles is a separate one.
and there's a rock.
Going in, helped by the URA as well as MACH, but going in front of
Holiday Inn
the
Express.
Holiday Express.
Oh, okay, great.
That'll be awesome.
Great. Well, and what occurred to me is, we've talked, could we have emphasis on different things, different. I said, we're looking for art in the URA, or activities in the URA, or if URA still exists. But anyway,
Yeah.
so, yeah, those kinds of things. Other things that came up for you as you read through this.
Went a couple, one was housing, and which I thought was interesting. For strategies for creatives, which I thought was interesting that would be neat to get like an apartment that has to be rented by a creative. Maybe on 2.2 on the next page there is art installations by local artists, and I know a lot of the stuff on the avenue was done by local, but some is not, but I like that they're indoor venues. I wanted to just mention there, I think that
I made a note on the indoor venues section as well. Question for me about us wanting to lean towards nonprofits rather than for-profit. Would be for-profit places, and it definitely would still be a realm of interests to fund despite that, so potentially shifting some of our positions. And I also thought it was interesting for goal 8. On the diversity front sometimes.
And really good points, those bring up even more questions, for example, so would we be fund a really big project? So housing was, when the creative district first formed, it was a real emphasis on that group, because a lot of creative districts have formed around the idea of making housing available for artists. They've taken over big warehouse spaces and those kinds of things and turned them into production spaces for artists. And so at that time, we were looking at, what's the hotel? What's the one with the, that looks southwestern, the very first one?
Oh, El Colorado.
El Colorado, it was like, wouldn't it be cool if each one of those sections could be, an artist could live there and make part studio and that kind of thing. So, it's under arts here, which, does that put it in our purview or not? Yeah, good point. Other things?
I agree that with Lulu's though, like if
a line which we have to agree on, which is money, or do we want, which is the private enterprise, or do we invest, let's call it in community. At this point, we've said no to something that tangibly provides a benefit
To Manitou in general.
yeah, no, but that's different.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
tax. I think that's a line which we need to just clarify
Good point.
where it is, because you know, and we've got to be very careful how wide you open that sort of funnel for stuff, and then you've got to have the right sort of rules to aid in that decision making. Fundamental lines that I think we want to make sure are very clearly defined and aligned with council.
Plus, some of the lines were already drawn for us at the start with Hiawatha and the Carnegie. Those are venues. They may not be performing music, but Hiawatha, we'll see. So, but, you know, that, it's like, that's 2/3 of the money already going toward, that's committed for those purposes.
By breaking.
And so it's been a little easier, at least from my perspective, to Tier 2 money is, okay, the big venues, at some point, they'll be funded, and then we'll have to make revisions. Because I don't, you know, there will be a second iteration of MACH, because we only got 15 years instead of 25. Open space is any lesson for us, which it should be, then you come back as soon as you feel like you've got public acceptance and popularity and credibility, and go ahead and re-up. But a possible point would be when that's different from the Manitou art. Which are kind of ongoing enterprises, and that's why they've had less out of the bigger pot. But the smaller pot, it came into play with the other project for Miramont, that it was like, you know, became, and of handling it, but it was still, it's tough in a small community when people are saying some of the things that were said.
And that's one of the example of some of those thorny issues. Talk about, when we talk about what are the big issues. I just happened to pull this out, Neil, when you said invest. I thought maybe, this is from our website in the application process. It's interesting that the word there is reinvest.
Mhm.
Is that appropriate? Is that what we're doing? Are we reinvesting in, does that mean something to all of us? So I just happened to see it and pull it out. So,
I think it does, absolutely, but it doesn't have to be a return on investment in dollars,
right.
right?
Mhm.
But I just want to be sure, focusing on conversation on the tier 2 pot for this meeting, because otherwise,
Yes,
okay, because that's really, at least we can focus on that. I think Ralph's comment is, in 2 or 3 years' time is when we want to start beginning that kind of process, and that will very much drive what that next iteration looks like. It might
Anything else? Any other thoughts about Plan Manitou? If you haven't had a chance to look at it with the lens of MACH, I would really urge you to do that. It's